Walaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Kareem. How y'all doing? How many people is doing Ramadan? Put a one in the chat. It is for workouts. Work out for your soul, for your spirit. Can you text? Oh, never mind. All right, we about to get started, y'all. I'm sorry. Little delay today. It's one of them days. One of them days. All right, I see some ones up in the chat. That's good. That's good. How many of y'all is your first time doing Ramadan? Let me know. We're gonna get into it, like for real, the true meaning, what it's about, what it's not, the whole nine. All right, give me 1 second. All right, for all of those who are new to the community or the guests, my name is Mike Rashid King. If you don't know, I am nothing special. I'm nobody special. Just a guy trying to make something out of this life that we have. And the things that I figure out, I share. I try to share, the stones that I turn over that's beneficial. I talk about it. I try to give perspectives and angles and just different things and I made a lot of mistakes in my life. So, and with the help of God, I've corrected them and I'm still correcting them. So I try to give y'all a little perspective of a big brother, what not to do, what to look out for. And my father always say a word to the wise is sufficient. So if you are wise, you will listen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. O Allah, expand for me my chest and ease for me my task and untie the night from under my tongue that these wonderful people here in attendance will understand my speech. Tonight's talk is called Sawm. For those who are Muslim, know what I'm talking about. And for those who are not and not familiar with the word, I'm going to explain it. I'm going to get into it in detail. This is Sawm, the architecture of the free. Sawm is fasting. I don't know if y'all really know what fasting means. So we like to participate in an activity called word alchemy, in which we deconstruct what words mean. We go into the etymology, the deep meaning of a word, so that we have full understanding or overstanding of what we're talking about. We have mastery over language. Now, Sawm is S-A-W-N. All right, let's begin here. That is a name with the sound. That sound is code embedded in the word before we ever reach the practice. All right, hear me out. So what Sawm is in Arabic, the root of Sawm is 3 letters, Sad, Wa, Meen. Those are letters. They're a lot different than English letters, okay? So bear with me. And what it means is to be still. Hear me out. Sawm means to be still, to refrain, to hold. This means fast too, right? Fasting. So not just from food. The original meaning of the original Arabic word, it carried the meaning of holding oneself in a state of deliberate restraint. That's important. Remember what I said right now. The original meaning in Arabic meant to hold oneself in a state of deliberate restraint. Not somebody holding you down, you holding yourself in restraint. Think about a horse. Horses are powerful, they're majestic, they're very explosive, as powerful as it gets for land animals, right? Think about a horse holding its position without being commanded. Imagine that, right? That takes a lot of force, a lot of internal force against a desire, right? Now, it ain't bolting, it ain't just running off, it's standing still and it's so controlled, right? It's very powerful. And it's not because it can't move. There's a difference. There's a difference when you just can't do something or you are under your own command, right? Or brought under command. Now, that is the first truth embedded in that word fast or song, right? It's not deprivation. It's not. It's a big difference. I want y'all to really receive these words tonight. It's a lot. It's a lot with this talk tonight. Sawm or fasting is mastery over the impulse to move toward what is immediately available. All right. Should I run that back? Sawm or fasting is mastery over your impulse from moving forward and grabbing what's right here in front of you. Food, drink, alcohol, drugs, whatever desires that you have, right? It's force that you're using applied, your control inward. You're applying force to your desires, right? Now, that was Sawm. Let's get into fast. Now we're going to get into our definition of fast, like what it really means though. Fast. It's fascinating. Fast, it comes from Old English. The original word was fasten, and it meant to hold firm, to abstain. Trace it further back, and you get into the Proto-Germanic, Germanic language. It was fastu. Same thing. It means fixed, right? That which does not shift. Don't move, right? Like you fasten your seatbelt. That which holds position under pressure. Y'all hear me? Y'all listening? Now listen. It's something that ain't nobody ever talked about, right? The word fast, it means to hold, right? Voluntarily. But it also means rapid. It means speed, swift, moving at top speed, right? That's fast. That's not a coincidence, and that's not an error. Hear me out, y'all. That's physics. It's physics. A body not weighted down by constant consumption operates faster. The mind operates faster. The body operates faster. This is science. Now, a mind that's doled with things, perpetual digestion, right? You're moving slower. You're thinking slower. You have brain fog. The fasting state is not a slowed state. It's an accelerated state. Think about a predator in the wild. They hunt fasted. They don't hunt full. When they're full, they sleeping, they chilling. They're letting that food process. They hunt on an empty stomach. Everything is firing rapidly in their mind. They're fast, they're strong, and they have a sense of urgency to go and get it. All right? Now, so word alchemy, for those who don't know what I'm doing, we're defining and looking at the etymology of each word in the title. Now, we get to architecture, and those in our community, you know this one because we've talked about this many a times. Architecture is originally a Greek word. Architecton. Archi, the prefix means chief or principal or first, right? Tecton means the builder or the carpenter or the craftsman, something like that. Architecture is not a fancy word. It's not decoration. It's deliberate arrangement of a structure to serve a specific pressure or function, under load. Now, a building is not walls and a roof, right? A building is a system. It's a system of forces and of balances, compression and tension, load and support, the invisible mathematics of what holds and what fails. That's what a building is. It's not just walls, right? Now, to say Ramadan is architecture is to say this. Hear me out. This is what we're saying. The month is not just for people saying Ramadan Mubarak, right? It's a lot deeper than that. This is very practical and it's a wonderful gift that we have. It is a structural system, right? It is a calculated arrangement of discipline, restraint, prayer, and hunger that redistributes the forces of your life into a new alignment. So under load, it reveals what holds and what collapses. You get to see who you really are. Y'all get to see, those of you who are participating in Ramadan, you get to see who you are. You're making a commitment to God, to yourself, and you're going to see who you are. What are you made of? All right. The next word in this alchemy is free. That is also Proto-Germanic. The original word was free, friha. Not in bondage, not owned, from the same root as the Sanskrit word priya, dear, cherished, loved, chosen. To be free in its oldest definition was not in the absence of constraint. All right. Y'all hear me? Is not without constraint. You think free is just free willy doing whatever, whenever, however. That's not freedom. All right. Now, this was a condition of being loved by something so powerful that they had to protect you, right? A free man was under divine covenant. A slave was the man owned by his appetite. Philosophically speaking, fear and somebody else's will. Now, put it all together. Sawm, the architecture of the free, the fast that is not deprivation, no deprivation. Good, right? This is real structure without a cage, all right? This is a practice that don't take freedom from you. It builds it brick by brick, all right? This is real freedom right here. This is real freedom, y'all. Building it up, prayer by prayer, hunger by hunger, until when? Until the man who thought he was free discovered that he was owned. And the man who holds the fast discovers on the other side of thirst what it actually means to belong to no one but. That is the name, that is the code. Now we shall enter this lecture. First thing we need to do is define what all of this means. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, all right? It's the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed by the angel Jibril from Allah to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is the month in which fasting is obligatory for every adult Muslim who is physically capable. That is the institutional definition. It is accurate. It is complete. It is what we call the Sunnah. All right. Ramadan is an annual 30-day protocol And it's for a systemic reset of every system that governs human behavior. This is the beauty of Allah's words and guidance for us, because everything that, if you're not really looking or seeing for real, right? If you're seeing with your earthly eyes, you're like, y'all got too many rules. It's too much restriction. You can't do this. You can't do that. No, we are getting upgrades of our character, upgrades of our social settings, upgrade of our lives in whole, right? This is an upgrade of human behavior, physical, neurological, spiritual, relational, all of the O's, all right? This is the only practice that I know that simultaneously addresses so many vectors of our being, body, mind, heart, soul, all in one single unified framework. And you don't have to be a Muslim to benefit from what it offers, okay? Now, I will say this again very clearly. You don't have to be a Muslim to benefit what Ramadan offers, all right? The biology, it's not checking your wallet like you got your Muslim ID. You know what I'm saying? The neurological recalibration, you're going to get it regardless, right? It doesn't matter if you declare a belief or not, right? The discipline being built here is the discipline, right? It belongs to anybody who's willing to pick it up. Now, for those who bring faith into it, what happens is not just optimization, it's something else, something way different. Alignment with a frequency this month that is designed to amplify. We're going to get there, y'all. All right. Now, let's get into the structure of it. From Fajr, that is the pre-dawn prayer, until Maghrib, that is the prayer after sunset. You abstain from food. No food, no water, no sex, no smoking. Those daylight hours, the body runs on whatever you've stored. And this is not punishment. This is a gift. This is meticulously engineering our being. Your body has a self-repair mechanism. There was literally a Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine was awarded for 2016 for the discovery of this thing called autophagy, okay? Autophagy, what does that mean? In Greek, it means, it's a Greek word, to eat oneself. To eat oneself. What does that mean, Mike? The cells. So cells, when deprived of incoming nutrition for an extended period of time, they begin to hunt down damaged proteins and eat them. You know what I'm saying? They dismantle all the dysfunction in your organelles. They clear out the debris accumulating in your cellular machinery that you've been accumulating and compounding for months, right? This is why fasting is so important. Your cells, you're eating yourself, right? They run maintenance cycles that you can't run when you're constantly feeding the system, all right? You know that, I don't know if you know this, but you know, when you are constantly utilizing systems of the body to digest food, you're using so much of your body's resources from doing other things, from healing yourself, from so much, right? Because you're always eating. Now, you've been eating through the maintenance window for 11 months every year. Ramadan is scheduled 1 month. Just shut it down, right? Let the system clean itself out. And I'm going to tell you, the reset that you get when you do it properly, it's adding years to your life. And better than that, it's adding quality years to your life, okay? So let's look at what the Prophet said, peace be upon him. He said, whoever does not give up lying, speech, or acting on these lies during Ramadan, then Allah has no need of him fasting. So it's pointless, right? That's heavy. This is for the believers. It's a lot more than just abstaining from food. This is when you need to be nicer to people. This is when you need to study. This is where you better not lie, right? All of the things. This is a character building process, is engineering, right? When you're fasting, is not just from food. It's from speech that poisons, lies, arguments. You know what I'm saying? Like things built up on your ego. I had to check my ego today. I was triggered emotionally. I had to walk away from everybody and just talk to my creator, talk to God, and ask him to give me strength and give me patience. But that's not something only for Ramadan. We carry that through, all right? You have to be honest with yourself. Now, if you are fasting from food, but you're operating your mouth like a weapon, it's just a ceremony. You know what I'm saying? There's no real substance. And you know better than anybody else know that you ain't keeping it 100. Not right? Let's not just be ritualistic, okay? Let's do the real work, y'all. This is what separates Ramadan from just like a fast just for your nutrition. It's the like intermittent. I talk about intermittent fasting a lot, but this is different from that. Ramadan addresses all systems simultaneously: body, speech, anger, attention, ego. This month runs maintenance across every vector of your lives and my life, right? Now, let's get into the operating principle, how we should be operating and be very mindful of this in Ramadan, but this should be every day of our lives. It's called Taqwa. Taqwa, right? Taqwa. That explains why Ramadan works at the level that it does. In the Quran, it tells us that Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 183, you who believe, fasting have been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you so that you may attain taqwa. What is taqwa? Taqwa is a word translated as fear of Allah, fear of God, right? But that English translation doesn't get the full meaning, right? There's a lot of things in Islam and in the Arabic language that you cannot, there's not a one-to-one direct ratio of translation. So we have to be creative with adding extra adjectives to the things that we talk about. So taqwa, the original word was like a shield, like protection or to be on guard, right? It's the state of heightened awareness that anybody has when knowing that they're observed by the one who sees everything. So it's not paranoia. It's clarity of accountability. It's knowing that God is watching you. It's being cognizant of God's omnipresent nature, all right? A soldier on watch operates differently than a soldier that's a civilian on a casual walk. He ain't no coward or nothing. He's just aware, right? So every step is carrying weight. This is taqwa. This is why we should be acting and activating and knowing that taqwa is now and tomorrow and every day, okay? So taqwa, it's that level of, it's just precision that's applied to your everyday life, not just Ramadan. So every word that you say, it carries weight. Every choice carries consequence. You're always on watch, right? And it has nothing to do with the audience, not the people. It's that audience, it's God, right? But it'll benefit the people when you're living in alignment with Allah, okay? Now, Ramadan is just training for this. It's taqwa in practice. Every hour that you're holding the fast, you're practicing the discipline of doing the right thing when nobody's checking. There is no external enforcement. It's just you, right? No monitors. Whether you took a sip of water or not in private, it's on you and God. God sees you, all right? Now, Allah is the only watcher that matters in reality. So you build a muscle of integrity in the dark, and that's the most legit place to build it, is in the dark when nobody's around. You do the champion stuff when ain't nobody watching. These muscles, this character that you built, it transfers into everything that you have going on in your life. Business decisions that you make when no one's watching, right? Conversations you held with honesty when lying could have been easier for you. It might have made things better for you. No, the boundary maintained when composing it will cost you nothing except your own standards. So this is Ramadan defined, like for real, not as a religious obligation to be tolerated. That's not what we're talking about. This is an annual engineering protocol for the systemic reconstruction of a man's sovereignty over himself, his appetites, his speech, you name it, right? This is the connection to source over all other orders. All right, now, we're going to diagnose, right? Look at the world that this month walks into. Look at the current state of this world. We live in a system designed to keep you owned, not by chains, not by explicit control, by you and your appetite. Think about this, y'all. Think about this capitalistic system that we operate in, right? The modern economic system operates with one principle: identify what the human body craves and put it in front of that human before they can even think. So the food engineered to, listen, it overrides your satiation, right? There are proteins in the body that's supposed to cut you off. All right, that's enough. I don't need any more. Listen, they have put these foods together in such a way that it overrides that. Salt, fat, and sugar. Salt, fat, and sugar together does not exist in nature. It doesn't. Think about your phones. The content that you see is over the top, right? These algorithms, they're put together because they understand the way they put together is by studying psychology. They know your psychology better than you, right? Because you're helping them by the things that you're dealing with on your phones. They're watching, and they're calibrating it perfectly to keep you stuck right there, keep you checking. Now, everybody out here, you're the product. Your attention is the currency. Now, I have to send a big salute to all y'all that are here, because this is not one of those dopamine-inducing toxic places. This place is hard to be in because it makes you look in the mirror. It makes you examine your own behavior, your own life. Because all I'm doing is telling you what you need to do, just like I'm telling myself that as well, right? So nobody wants to hear that, especially when you know it's the truth. It's easier to go and just watch senseless things, funny things, scandalous things that have nothing to do with you. Those things are easy. This is hard, so I salute y'all. This is a step in the right direction. This is powerful. This is strength. It's easier to just put some music on. It's easier to put something that doesn't need brain activity to massage you, to soothe you. Easy, but we ain't those people. All right? Listen, let's talk about the anatomy of ownership. The average person in a developed nation right now consumes more than 3,500 calories a day, right? They're not hungry. That's a lot, right? They're doing that because the inputs are engineered to defeat the signal that says, it's enough. That's enough. Our bodies have what's called satiation mechanisms, right? Those mechanisms are systematically bypassed by food science. In these laboratories, they pay to reverse engineer your biology, and that's what they're doing, and they do a really good job at it. The average adult touches their phone, this thing right here, almost 3,000 times a day. 3,000 times a day. You ain't getting that many, like, important messages. Ain't nobody. I'm not, right? It's the dopamine loop of scroll, stimulation, micro reward. You feel me? That's what it is. So it's literally, it's like magic. This is what magic is. It's the manipulation of your system, of your physical system. Why do I keep doing this? I was supposed to check my email, but I'm over here on this this whatever, watching fights or whatever we're watching. You see what I'm saying? And this is not because anybody is weak, right? It's just the engineering is strong, it's powerful. The system that they design, it works, right? But here's the actual diagnosis. The man, hear me out, and if this relates to you, it relates to you, and it's time to change. A man who cannot say no to his first hunger cannot say no to the second. A man who cannot say no to the second cannot say no to the one that's going to compromise his business or his family or his bond with Allah. Appetite is hierarchy. Small appetites train the large ones. If you eat every time the body asks for food, you will react in anger every time. That's going to be your default expression every time you're triggered. If you drink every time your throat is dry, you will spend every time your heart desires to buy something, you're going to do it, even if you don't got the money. If you scroll every time you're bored, listen, if you scroll every time you're bored, you will betray every time your loneliness asks for the wrong type of comfort. These equations are real. The only thing real in our world, as far as information, is math. It's numbers and equations and constants. These are equations that is real, right? Now, the appetites are all connected. They share the same infrastructure. They work the same. So the will that controls food controls everything else downstream. The will that can't control food can't control nothing else. Look at what happened when a man who has never trained this before, look at what happens to him. His mood follows his blood sugar. He's stable when he's fed, and he's unstable when he's hungry, right? The people closest to him, they learn to manage his feeding schedule, to keep him happy. It's like a child. They're just trying to manage him with food and snacks and whatnot. His clarity, it depends on comfort. That's not the vibration, y'all. That's not the vibration. A person like this, they can't think hard thoughts on an empty stomach. They just can't. They're hangry. You feel me? He can't have a difficult conversation without being full. He got to be full. He has to outsource his emotional regulation with calories. Put this man in position of leadership. I mean, really, what do you think that kind of man, what kind of leader would that kind of man be? Trump type vibes like that? Like Trump, Ronald Trump, y'all president? That ain't my president, that's y'all president, right? Think about the father who just yells at his kids because he's frustrated, because he hangry, he ain't got his food yet, right? The executive who, your executive, your boss, he panics because he's under pressure. That's not the vibration. That's not the energy. All right? It's not the energy. The man who physically present at home, but spiritually absent because He's addicted to his phone and drama in his phone that has nothing to do with him. That kind of person has a atrophied will. And it ain't that they're evil. They've been just worn down and eroded down by comfort. By comfort. Comfort is a huge poison, y'all. It's a poison. Comfort is the most effective weapon ever deployed against human potential. It does not attack you. It sedates you. It don't break you down. It softens you. It softens you. It just erodes you. You know what I'm saying? It makes you soft, right? So people who succumb to this comfort, to them, her shit feel like violence. You know what I mean? It feel like they're under attack. Discipline feels like a punishment. You feel me? So the culture of instant gratification is not a minor inconvenience. It is a spiritual poison distributed through pleasure. I always say men should never, ever be pursuing pleasure. It's not the vibration. It's the most dangerous feature, and it feels like freedom. Oh, this is great. The freedom to eat what you want, when you want. The freedom to feel what you want, when you want to feel it. The freedom to consume without restraint. No limits. That ain't freedom, y'all. You're owned. You're owned by your own appetite and them who's producing these flavorful. And when I say flavorful, I'm talking about all of the things, the dopamines, the phone stuff, everything, right? That people are addicted to, not just the physical appetite. You don't even own your own appetite. The appetite owns you. And that entity that controls what his appetite is aimed at owns the man. You're owned. You don't feel your own chains because your chains are made of pleasure. They don't hurt. They feel good. This modern Babylonian capitalistic world that we exist in right now has produced the most physically comfortable and spiritually hollow generation recorded in human history. More food, more entertainment, Netflix. I get it, y'all. I get it. It's Netflix. Oh, what is it? Bumble, swiping, unlimited dates, unlimited TV, food get delivered. You don't even gotta you don't gotta pick up your food. You don't call and pick it up. I know, but I barely eat. It just bring it to you. How dare you not be working out, training, doing all the things. You eat, you know how you lose weight, right? You burn off more calories than you put in. You put in calories in the morning, you go to work, you have a snack or two. At work, y'all be hitting them food trucks because you bored. My phone talking to me. Stop talking to me, lady. Food truck, you bored. It tastes, smell good, right? It's cheap. Eat again on your way home. Eat at home. You have not burnt off those calories. You just keep compounding, and you got the nerves to order some more. Bumba clot. Listen, the data is not ambiguous. Rates of anxiety, depression. I don't even believe in depression, but people have succumbed. Now, there is a clinical depression, but the depression that most people actually have is not that, right? But here we are. We have to change the goalposts, lower the standards, lower the thresholds, because people have no kind of mental toughness at all. Now, people are existentially disconnected at historic highs, right? Comfort, listen, comfort is, don't get me wrong, y'all. I like good food. I like delicious food. I like good movies. Pleasure is great for anybody, but you must be disciplined. And that pleasure, you should have like small windows of it. It can't be the dominant factor of your world, of your life. Typically on weekends, I go hard with the snacks or whatever. But during the week, I'm a robot. But now that we're in Ramadan, there's no going hard. Perfect recalibration for me, all right? Let's say I did have weekends still right now. I'm still a robot during the week. I deploy discipline and violence towards entropy for me, all right? Word to the wise. Now, Ramadan, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Ramadan is literally the antidote. It is not because it denies comfort, because it proves that you can choose something greater than your comfort. Let me explain. The fast is just a simulation, a controlled environment where the stakes of submission is low. Is low enough for you to practice it safely. Like, you're not literally starving like 100 years ago, 20, when people died of famines and stuff like that. It's a controlled situation, right? So in this fast, you face hunger. Hunger is one of the most powerful biological drives in the human system. We got to eat, right? It has been directing human behavior since before recorded history. This is how we're designed. and hunger is loud and is insistent. It doesn't go away. It's designed to wear you down. Eat, right? Ramadan asks you to look at it and say, I see you, I hear you, but I am in charge. Just wait. That's not arrogance or nothing like that to your body. That's proper hierarchy being restored. Your will commands, your mind informs, and then the rest of you complies. That's how it's supposed to be. For us, maybe not for animals, but for humans, that's how we're designed. That is the correct chain of command for a human operating system in its full sovereignty. So let's talk about a 30-day arc. Okay, this is what we're all here for. This is what happens on this fast. Day one, this don't feel good. You're tested by something that's very foreign to you, very unfamiliar. Like, why am I doing this? But you kind of like getting through it because this is a cool idea. It's novel. We tend to be able to. Humans are hardwired to appreciate novelty, right? This restriction is new. You're determined. You got adrenaline, baby, and that kind of energy, that new energy, that's what's keeping you going. That's your it's an energy of intention. Got you going easy, right? That's the easiest day. Is the first day, right? And a lot of people think it's the hardest. That ain't nothing, right? Let's get to day 7, right? Let's get to day 7. It gets real, right? Your will is tested by the body's second attempt to override the program. There's no more novelty. That was day 1, maybe day 2. And the hunger found its rhythms. The first wave of internal negotiation begins. You start talking like, damn, I already did 7 days. Like, I did 6 days already, Jack. I mean, that's better than I did last year. I didn't do nothing. Your body knows what it wants, but is this reasonable? You hold. The will gets fit its first genuine workout. Let's get to day 14. Now, it's becoming mundane. It's not fun anymore, right? Day 14, in my opinion, for someone doing this for the first time, that's probably the hardest point, hardest part of the arc. Nothing has increased, right? There's no excitement. No, you're not riding a wave anymore. All of that stuff dissipated. And 14 days is not long enough for a habit to really be automatic for you, right? For most people. So you in a gap of like novelty and something automaticity. I just made that up. Automaticity. This is where your character is actually built. This is where it gets real. This is what you want. Listen, y'all. This is where it's like the biggest fight. But that's when you should run to it. You're David, that's Goliath. Because you're going to win. Y'all gonna win. And then when you win, you're rewarded with so much. So, and it's not dramatic. That's the best part about it. The real gifts that we get and the real strength that we develop, it ain't on the bench press. It ain't big bag of money you figured out, sold out. It ain't none of that. It's in quiet moments when it's just you and your creator, right? It's the unremarkable middle of the month when holding the fast is simply the disciplined thing to do. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I can't wait. Can't wait till it gets real tough for me. That's what I'm here for. We're not here for running away like cowards. We here for like tucking our chin and going deeper into the fight when it get tough. It ain't tough yet. Let's fast forward to day 20. The will is no longer being tested. It's rewiring. The neural pathways of deliberate restraint, they have been activated enough times that they're beginning to strengthen and consolidate, and this is becoming who you are. The response to hunger has shifted from automatic reach to considered choice. The real architecture is taking form. This is what we wanted, y'all. The biological yield. Let's go to the biological yield. So let's go back to day 3. Day 3, day 4 of your fast. Let's talk about what because this is, I just explained a 30-day arc that strengthens your character, which is the best thing to strengthen, right? Now let's get into the lowest hanging fruit is your body. Around day 3 or day 4, the body stops. You get out of that panic mode, right? And you start shifting fuel sources in your body, which is very good. So fat oxidation increases, ketone production begins. Your brain, which is running on glucose, it starts to run on ketones, right? Ketones is just cleaner, is more efficient. It's just some of the best kind of fuel for your brain. So what does that mean in real terms? Is you're thinking crystal clear, right? Cognitive clarity reliably improves during extended fasting. Data, listen, it is what it is. No brain fog. memory sharp, signal sharp, right? The autophagy mechanism in your body is activated, so your cells begin their maintenance cycle. Damaged cells and proteins dismantled. Inflammation gone. Immune system strong, powerful. Mitochondrial functions improves. You know what makes people old is mitochondrial dysfunction. Fasting causes autophagy. Autophagy, it improves your mitochondria. It's literally making you younger. Literally making you younger. So the body does it, it's maintenance on itself. The work is doing work that you just could not do when you're just eating, right? I'm not, this is not anything spiritual I'm trying to tell y'all. This is all biological, but that is spiritual. Spirit and spirituality and whatever you want to call it is very scientific and practical. We can get into that later. So anyway, your body is fasting different from the way that your body operates when you're fasting is so much different than how it operates when it's full and fed. Okay? The fasting mind is different from the fed mind. The Holy Quran was revealed in this month, right? The vessel was clean enough to receive the frequency. You cannot download high-level data onto a corrupted hard drive. Too much crap there. Now, I want to speak directly to the person out there listening who's never fasted a day in their life. Who's, you're curious, but just not convinced. You see the discipline, you respect it, but it ain't for you, or maybe not right now. I'm gonna tell you something right, just like this. If you fast for 30 days, you will learn things about yourself that you cannot learn in any other way. You will learn that what your actual relationship with food is. Is it nutrition or is it comfort? If it's comfort, that's very dangerous, slippery slope. Or is it medication for your emotions that you haven't processed? Because that's what food operates as for a lot of people. People eat out of stress and coping, right? The fast, if you was to fast, it will strip the behavior and show you the functions underneath. Now, that information, you knowing this information is very vital. You should know it, right? Anyway, on a 30-day fast, you will learn where your emotional regulations come from. Do you become mean and irritated when you're hungry? Is your emotional state chemically medicated? Now, your family is experiencing the consequence of your blood sugar. That's information that you need to know, okay? I always tell people like this, look, maybe I'm kind of mean or harsh how I come across, but I say for a man with a family that's obese, you're an asshole. And I say you're a bad person. I say that because you're putting yourself at risk. First of all, you're putting your family at risk of losing everything because of your health, because you will not push away from the table when you've had enough, okay? And you do this over and over and over. And if you're getting mad at me right now, good. But don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself and change it, fix it. This is a perfect opportunity right here. Ramadan, a fast, right? Perfect opportunity to try. Listen, people be like, die for so-and-so. No. We don't want you to die for us. Live for us. Live for your daughter. Live for your son, for your wife, for your brother, for your family. Live for them, okay? Being like this is not living. You're accelerating death. That's a fact. Now, hidden within the last 10 nights of Ramadan, the night of power. The Quran says this night is better than 1,000 months. 1,000 months is 83 years. One night, genuine, present, aligned worship. That's it, just one night. That outweighs the entire human lifetime of some ordinary effort. The mathematics, like I told y'all, the only thing real and truthful is math, right? It's not comfortable to sit with casually. They demand a response. The night is hidden deliberately, so you do not know which of the odd nights in the last 10 it is. That's kind of fire, y'all. This is by design, so you show up every single night with everything you have, not knowing which crossing holds the gate. Now, if you've been building towards this night, if the first 20-some days strip the noise and quieted the ego and sharpened the antenna through your fasting, through your prayer, through restraint, when the night arrives, you arrive capable of receiving what it carries. Y'all hear me out? Give me 1 second, y'all. I got to check my prayer times, and it's about that time. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she asked the Prophet, what should she say on that night? He said, "Oh Allah, you are the pardoner. You love to pardon, so pardon me." Say it, mean it, watch it change your life, like for real, for real. So listen, y'all, I have to make my prayer. Part of Ramadan especially for a Muslim, is being super on your deen and doing all of the things that you're supposed to be doing. So it's best to make prayer when it's time. All right. And for me, it is time. So I'll end this right now. And I appreciate all of y'all for tapping in. My brother Ricky, if you could put the link in for any of those who are interested in experiencing the sacred society, Ricky will straighten y'all out right there. But anyway, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.